In January 2014, VVOB and its partners, the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, the Department of Teacher Education at the University of Zimbabwe, and the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education embarked on a journey that sought to ensure that early education teachers and school leaders provide all learners with equal opportunities to enhance their further education and future success. The program was known as Teachers for Inclusive Early Education in Zimbabwe, commonly known as TEAS. To see the achievement of their specific objective, the program identified 5 sub-themes that they worked upon, namely multilingualism, teaching and learning material, differentiated teaching strategies and classroom management, early identification for diverse learning needs, and school leadership.
I would like to start by thanking VVOB for the great part it has played in helping us to produce ECD teachers. One, they've offered us technical assistance and have held educational leadership workshops for our lecturers, our principals, so that they too are aware of the quality of an ECD teacher and what this ECD teacher is supposed to do in schools.
Early identification and planning for diverse learning needs is the starting point of inclusion. This entails the ability of a teacher to identify learning needs of each and every child in the ECD classroom and be able to put up individualized strategies to help the child learn and reach his or her full potential. 3 colleges worked upon this theme, namely Masvingo Teachers College, Madziwa Teachers College, and UCE.
After having identified the theme that we're working on, we realized that we could not go it alone. We needed to involve our students who work with MOPSE on a daily basis. We needed to involve mentors who also work with our students on a daily basis, the leadership within MOPSE, and so forth. So we realized that if we were going to do it on our own, perhaps we could go offside, as it were. We needed to know what is it that MOPSE was doing so that we would tailor-make our programs to meet the demands and expectations of MOPSE. And also for MOPSE, which is quite active, quite vibrant, I see a bright future. Because there's this collegialship between us and MOPSE. VVOB has just shown us how to do things. And the 2 partners, MOPSE and ourselves, have since realized that we have a role to play and that we need each other.
In Masvingo Province, Masvingo Teachers College worked together with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and other line ministries in the province to jointly develop a child monitoring tool that is being piloted in the province.
The likes of Ministry of Health and Child Welfare or Ministry of Social Welfare, and also Education, MOPSE, and us, where we were reflecting on how we assess the child. And as early childhood development, and we found out that assessment begins as soon as the child is born.
Multilingualism is the ability to speak and understand 2 or more languages. The United College of Education worked upon the multilingualism sub-theme. The United College of Education is based in Bulawayo Metropolitan Province in Matabeleland. Matabeleland has over 10 languages from the different tribes in the region, hence a need to address multilingualism issues in order to equip their students for the teaching realities. Learners in a multilingual environment are often faced by the challenge of overloading of languages. This stifles the full development of the mother tongue. In such cases, we end up with several underdeveloped languages and no fully developed mother tongue.
First, we have been able to really produce a document, a guide, which I think will become very handy as we train our teachers. We will sensitize them about issues of language. This is a kind of guide which we may want to share with other colleges. And what is good is that it was produced by us. It is contextual. We understand exactly what we mean in it, and we think that it is go a long way into helping us guide our students to be sensitive to issues of language.
Differentiation consists of the efforts of the teacher to respond to variance amongst learners in the classroom. Whenever a teacher reaches out to an individual or a small group to vary his or her teaching in order to create the best learning experience possible, that teacher is differentiating instruction. Morgenstern Teachers College and Joshua Mqabuko Nkomo Polytechnic worked upon this theme and received support from a Belgian partner, VSKO. In partnership with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, VVOB conducted in-service training for ECD A and B teachers in differentiated teaching strategies and classroom management. 6 months after the training, the effects of the training could already be felt by the ECD A and B pupils.
Takaronga matables edu atinawo chipa mukana wekuti tisiye space yakakura yekuti vana vakwanise kuita ma-indoor activities avo pasina chinovakanganisa zvinoita kuti ma-accidents aite mashoma nevana pavanotamba paya paya hatinganyanyi kutyira kuti vana vanokuvara.
The ECD teacher training program in Zimbabwe is run on a 2-5-2 basis, implying that student teachers spend 5 out of 9 terms on teaching practice with mentors. The TP mentorship sub-theme was largely focused on building better relationships between the mentors and the student teachers through capacity building initiatives carried out with the colleges. The colleges that worked upon this theme were Marymount Teachers College, Seke Teachers College, Mkoba Teachers College, and Gondolfi Teachers College.
Mentorship is just almost as old as humankind, because if you look at it historically, before even the advent of formal education, people were taught how to survive in their societies through mentorship, through apprenticeship system. How, for example, hunting, even farming, even the use of herbs and the medicines. These were always taught by experienced people, so that knowledge which was thought to be so important could not be just be left to chance. There had to be some people who would pass it on to the next generation for the sake of continuity of those societies and to ensure that the knowledge does not get lost. So using mentors, we have found that even the quality of the teachers that we produce, I think it has improved dramatically, because the students, for example, they will learn the tricks of how to teach well first, even before they can make very good documents. Implementation was at college level, where we had to sensitize lecturers, make them aware of what the program was all about before we could start rolling out this program outside college. When we were satisfied after holding a workshop with the lecturers, we then moved outside the college.
The mentorship program has come in handy, because we used to notice that students on their own would sometimes blunder here and there and would only wait for the lecturers when they visit them to maybe assist in terms of their teaching practice.
The development of school leadership enhances learning for all learners in the school. Therefore, the TEAS program supported the district education officers and the ECD trainers in preparing and facilitating the capacity development of school leaders in order to enhance the inclusion of all children in ECD classes. 600 school leaders from Mashonaland Central and the Midlands were trained in the 8 dimensions of school leadership and have already started implementing the strategies they learned during the training.
We are grateful that we were able to train about 600 teachers in 2 provinces. heads, deputy heads and TRCs in 2 provinces. And I think because there was a very big need, because these heads and deputy heads used to shun supervising ECD.
During the past years, we had a problem of enrollment. We had few pupils. Maybe if you had a sight of our enrollment statistics, our statistics were very low. We had, in 2014, they were around 120. In 2015, they slightly rose to 135. But after the workshop, we have about 204 pupils in ECD department because of what we learned.
The TEAS program has set the stage for greater collaboration among education partners. Going forward, VVOB envisions greater collaboration that will see Zimbabwe ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education that promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all.
This program was really very meticulously prepared by all stakeholders involved. And I mean, the 2 ministries were very closely involved in the conceptualization of this program, also the Department of Teacher Education and the 11 teacher education colleges. So people really knew what they were going to undertake. Furthermore, I had to do with a very committed and very energetic team that was really able to take this gigantic task on board. This program was very well prepared because it is completely embedded in the ESSP, that is the Education Sector Strategic Program of the government. It is embedded in the policies, in the very policies of this government. And so we feel very comfortable to work together with the people representing the government in both ministries and institutions. The commitment was very high from the very beginning on, and that is, I think, that was really the success of this program. A dynamic team, all stakeholders involved, very close cooperation, even up to the level of exchange visits that proved to be very fruitful. As we were going, I was more and more impressed by the way this program was evolving, and especially by the dynamics and the enthusiasm of lecturers and principals of the different teacher education colleges, because without them the realization of this program would never have been possible. And there I've seen that the past 3 years these people are now using a different kind of vocabulary. New concepts, new tools are being used at this very moment. They are talking about strategic teaching approaches, they are talking about class management, there is school leadership now, and continuous assessment of well-being and involvement of children. It is not that long ago that statistics began to show that children who went to early childhood centers not only had higher learner outcomes later on in primary and secondary, but also that there was less dropout among these children. So it means really that early childhood education is very important in the long run for children. It lays the basis of their personalities. It is in early childhood that teachers can detect the talents and the challenges of children. So if you really want to invest in the future, you better invest in teachers